I want to talk to you about music and your ability to perceive it. So musical discernment, musical perception is a really interesting thing in terms of neuroscience. So as you know, one of the leading theories in the scientific community is evolution. And there are believers who believe in evolution. They believe that God initiated and created, but he used evolution. But when I say pure evolution, what I mean by that is those who believe that evolution is solely responsible for the development of life on Earth, and that there is not a creator God who put all of this together. One of the monkey wrenches in the cogs, in my mind, for evolution is musical discernment. Why in the world would we need to be able to discern different emotions from different harmonic structures and patterns if what evolution was trying to do is just to make us more capable of survival? So there are theories that evolutionists have proposed for why musical discernment might exist in a purely evolutionary structure. Things like maybe it was needed for social cohesion, or maybe it was a development of mother-infant bonding, or maybe it was like an overdevelopment or over-evolution, evolved sense of language. But I think even the researchers would admit it's an oddity. And it's difficult to know exactly why we would have musical discernment because there's no obvious answer. There's no obvious reason why this should be perceived as pleasant while this is perceived as moody and brooding and dark, and why this is haunting and why this is gross. There's no real evolutionary answer for that other than some theories that just don't really hit the mark. And so for me, I think this points to a creator. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One is that there is an invisible, unseen expectation inside your ear to hear harmonic structures and note patterns that do not exist naturally in the natural world, okay? So let me give you an example. You can hear birds sing all day long, and you can hear multiple birds sing, and you will not hear a major chord. There's no animal in the world that we're aware of that sings a perfect third and a fifth on top of a root note. They just don't. You're not going to hear whales doing a minor chord. You don't hear those harmonic structures in nature, okay? So you can't say that this developed as a response to identifying certain things in the natural world, because these harmonic structures that are inside of your perception and your mental expectation, they don't exist in the world, you know? So that's one thing. And so when you find some kind of structure in your mentality that has no echo in the natural world, it has to be sort of discovered and then replicated. To me, that implies that there's an unseen design and therefore an unseen designer. Now, the other aspect that I've been thinking about is that there are human emotions attached to certain harmonic structures. Like, that sounds sad, doesn't it? And we've noticed that when you use, this particular harmonic structure that we call a minor chord, it is evocative. It brings an emotion. And if you're going to write a song that, aims for replicating a sadness, then you're going to be using minor chords. Major chords sound happy, right? Why, from an evolutionary standpoint, would that make any sense? How does that help a human survive? And why are we the only animals that have that? So these are questions that, in my mind, point to one answer. And the answer is that we have a creator But our musical discernment says something about our Creator and what He wanted to do for us. You see, our Creator is not an impersonal force like evolution, because when He designed us, He embedded experience into the structure. He allowed us to have this mechanism to evoke emotions in each other in ways that you can't do in any other way. And so what it says is, to me, is that we have a personal designer, a personal creator who cares about our emotional experience and cares about our ability to communicate those emotions between one another. There's just no other way that I can figure out how to account for our musical discernment apart from that. And what that tells me about our designer is that if He wants us to be able to communicate our emotions between each other, it makes a lot of sense that He would want to communicate with us in a similar evocative and emotional way. So, musical discernment, one of the soft evidences that we have a designer and a creator. Thanks for watching.